Alright, decided I'd make a little video tutorial, see how I usually do some of my for fun development work. I do so many weird little projects and stuff, I can't even keep straight all the weird tools and different setups and whatnot I've had to do for various projects, so figured I'll do a little tutorial, nothing else, just to keep something that I can look back on and say, oh, that's how I did that. So anyway, I'm going to try to make a Pebble app. I've never really done that before. I got a Pebble on sale a little while back, and I thought of a somewhat interesting project that might be worth a little playing around with. But basically, to get Pebble set up, the first thing you have to do is install their SDK, which is specifically for Linux, or at least that's probably the easiest way to get up and running. So I'm sort of a Windows user, but I have to do lots of development in Linux. So typically what I do is I use a virtual machine. What a virtual machine does is it lets you run another guest operating system in your host operating system. So in this case, I'll be running a guest version of the 64-bit Ubuntu on my host Windows 7 machine. So I'm going to be using VMware. Some people prefer VirtualBox, which is sort of a more slightly less corporate version of this, but definitely depends what you're sort of more familiar with. They're very similar, but there are definitely some weird little quirks that they can throw you off. So VMware makes it very hard to actually figure out what their free product is. Just to check, VMware Player is the specific one that I use to get my free OSs up and running. So you can see here, just looking at these, it's not even 100% obvious which one you would go with, but looking at the most recent version of just VMware Player, there we get our download. VMware Player Plus. They don't make this easy. Presumably, VMware Player Plus is the normal VMware Player, but let's see. Well, that's going to take a little while. In the meantime, you have to actually download a install disk for your OS. So I'm just going to use standard Ubuntu. Of course, you don't have to. Ubuntu its popularity means that there's a pretty decent compatibility. So it sometimes makes installing your tools a little easier, and if something doesn't work, well, then there's a lot more people complaining about it, so it's usually easier to figure out what's gone wrong. So let's see what downloads they have now. Alright, so you have to choose between the extended support version or the latest version. Typically I go with the extended support version because for development you really don't care about all the bells and whistles for the most part, and the tools tend to target the long-term support editions. So probably doesn't matter very much, and you can always try to get your the various pieces updated to whatever version you need, but just to make things a little simpler. So downloading this will take a while, but fortunately I already got this stuff set up, so I will just skip to actually building the new VM once you have the disk image and VMware Player installed.